women's rights and maternal health. Real women and their personal stories.
It's 20 years since the Arab League held its annual summit in Iraq. An AlJazeera news special has full coverage from Baghdad.
Branded a lunatic by some and an inspirational revolutionary by others, AlJazeera follows the controversial Norman Finkelstein.
Residents in Nalut fear pro-Gaddafi forces are preparing to retake the town after other western cities repel overnight attacks. Welcome to Al Jazeera. I'm Lauren Taylor in Doha. Also on the programme, a relaxed Muammar Gaddafi laughs off calls for him to go. Thousands protest in Yemen as President Saleh blames the unrest on the US and Israel. And 1 week on, New Zealand remembers the victims of the earthquake that rocked the city of Christchurch. Hello, the international pressure on him is growing, but Libyan leader Muammar Gaddafi has scoffed at suggestions that his rule is under threat. That's despite his opponents taking and maintaining control of cities close to the capital. Residents in Nalut say paramilitary forces loyal to Gaddafi are about 10 kilometres away from them. They're camped out in an army barracks and armed with heavy machinery. People have warned that if they attack Nalut, there will be a battle. Well, Nalut is about 60 kilometres from the Tunisian border. The town of Misurata is also under opposition control, but there have been reports of fresh battles with government forces there. Troops have launched an assault on the Ras Lanuf oil refinery near Gaddafi's hometown of Sirte, and a wave of government attacks has hit the rebel-held towns of AlJazeera and Zawiya. While as the Human Rights Council continues to discuss the crisis in Geneva, the United States has said it's moving its warships and air forces closer to Libya. Dan Nolan reports on the main developments.
Panic sets in on a highway near the eastern Libyan town of AlJazeera. Anti-government fighters try to divert traffic after what they say was an aerial attack from Muammar Gaddafi's forces.
Jets are bombing us. In every raid they dropped 4 bombs. They attacked AlJazeera from 4 different locations.
There's another explosion in the military. Sweatina military. You can see the smoke from there.
These pictures were filmed by Associated Press on Monday. Witnesses said the target was an ammunition dump taken over by opposition forces. As they wait with rocket-propelled grenades for a follow-up attack, a former Air Force pilot who's joined the rebel ranks made this plea to control Colonel Gaddafi.
Whether it is the European Union or the Arabs or America or even Russia, we ask them to just shut down this man's airspace. We are capable of taking him out by ourselves, but we are only requesting the international community to enforce a no-fly zone.
But the man he wants to take out is showing no signs of leaving, spending Monday telling international media that he has Libya's full support.
Me, all my people with me, they love me all.
But if they do love you...
They will die to protect me, my people.
If you say they do love you, then why are they capturing Benghazi and they say they're against you there? Why are they in Zawiya?
It is a guide, not my people.
In an interview that will do little to convince the international community that he's of a sound state of mind, Colonel Gaddafi also laughed off mounting pressure to leave the country.
Who would leave his homeland? Why do I leave my homeland? Why do I leave Libya?
That means the bloodshed and fierce firefights aren't likely to stop anytime soon. This amateur video was uploaded on social media on Monday and is said to show fresh battles at Misrata Airport, a sprawling airbase that each side now partly controls. Al Jazeera cannot independently verify it or another uploaded video said to show the aftermath of battles at the same airport on Sunday. Misrata is 200 kilometres to the east of Tripoli, its strategic value possibly best explained by the huge amount of weapons and ammunition now in the hands of those determined to bring Gaddafi down. Dan Nolan, Al Jazeera.
Well, people in AlJazeera have successfully fought off attempts by Gaddafi forces to retake the town. Earlier, we spoke to a man who lives there, and he says that they're now worried that their food supplies are being cut off.
Since yesterday, the situation is quiet. Yesterday morning is quiet. People are satisfied from the steps we are doing. We are talking even about the post-Gaddafi period, after Gaddafi period. Last night at 8 evening, there are 2 clashes in the east and the west of Zawiya, the gates to Zawiya. The center of Zawiya, the area of Zawiya is already occupied by our people, by the people. Okay, 2 clashes, one in to the east and one to the west. There are 2 groups of Gaddafi militia trying to prevent other people from coming to the Zawiya city, adding support to the people inside. They had been attacked by some of our groups, and they leave the area there and they went back. But more far, about 10 kilo, there are a lot of tanks and people trying to prevent even some types of food and some things to enter to the Zawiya city.
Well, Tony Bertley is in the eastern Libyan city of Benghazi, where people are worried about a possible airstrike from Gaddafi's men.
An air of normality is sweeping over Benghazi day by day as things start to sort of fit into place, as life gets back to normal. But there's still this kind of note of apprehension about what is going to happen in the days and the weeks, although the possibility of an attack on the ground by pro-Gaddafi forces seems to be receding by the day. The threat still is there from the air. Gaddafi has used his air force before. There's still a possibility that what remains of his air force could be unleashed in a final act of retribution, but they're hoping for a peaceful solution. It seems to be heading that way, but you never know with this leader who shows no signs of wanting to go. They're preparing politically, but they're also preparing militarily. A big mobilization going on, we're told. Weapons are being handed in, but it doesn't seem they've got that kind of order yet that's needed for attack. But some people believe that the only way that the complete liberation of Libya will be completed is at their own hands.
Scores of people in eastern Libya are signing up to fight Gaddafi's regime. Libya's former interior minister and former head of the special forces are leading efforts to put together a rebel force despite limited resources. Jackie Rowland explains.
The ledger is thick and it's filling up with names. This recruitment office has been open only a matter of days and already hundreds of men have signed on. The army for which they're enrolling doesn't exist yet, but that isn't deterring the volunteers. These young soldiers joined the uprising against Muammar Gaddafi on the first day. Now they've enlisted in the rebel force and they say they're ready to march on Tripoli.
We don't want money or cars or anything. We want to protect the country and its people.
A lot of young people are sacrificing themselves. They want to go to the West.